boy, we've been covering a lot of ground here, haven't we, Frank?
Certainly have.
Amazing stuff. We were talking about an epic change in your life.
For sure.
After the Bertha's Furniture heist that went south because of an informant, and in your environment, you knew of 47 guys who'd been whacked for various infractions, and you actually, that was where you broke your ties with the mob, was over the Bertha's incident, because the FBI came to you. They had a wiretap that proved that there was a hit out on your life.
That's correct. Yes, that is correct.
So that must have been a very perilous time, but you say that it actually changed your life for the better, and you probably wouldn't even be here if that hadn't happened.
It was really difficult to roll.
I bet it was.
It actually took me over 20 years to get over the fact, because I was raised one way. You don't tell on people.
And you're loyal, like you said. That's one of your top traits.
It was so tough, but I managed to, after 20 years, put my first book out.
And that was this one. Did that help? Was that cathartic to write it out?
I guess it helped a lot to get it off my chest.
Kind of therapy.
Yeah, and it was very good for me to get it out. And there was so much, it would have filled, the book would have been this thick, the two books together. So we decided to do 2 different books.
So, what happened to you then? You had to go into a witness protection program, right? And we all hear about those, but what is that really? Do they really put you in a secret house and take your phones away and lock you up somewhere? Or is it?
They have two types of witness protection program. One is where you're locked up in a safe house, more or less, with a lot of other guys like you. And then once you complete this time, whatever it may be, you're paroled, and you're on parole for maybe however long your case was. Mine was 2 years. So then they put me in a witness protection program on the street in the free world. So I bounced around from different states. I probably was in 10, 15 different states.
Different name, different identity?
Same. I changed my name, but they changed my name at least 3 times. Due to getting spotted at a different state. I tell them, hey, somebody said hello to me, what am I doing here? And legitimate people these were,
Were you always looking over your shoulder thinking that the mob was coming after you?
No, not really, because I knew how hard it would be. They'd actually have to spend a lot of time to kill you in another city or state, because they're not familiar with it. You are. So that means they would have to come there and find out where you live and find your habits, and it's hard. They'd have to get a work car, and then they'd have to leave after they did the killing, and it's not that easy to get out.
But you must have had a wealth of information for the feds, though, right? I mean, did they kind of base that on the amount of...
Well, no, I had good information for them. They just don't use anybody, that has nothing to tell them. And there was...
Did you keep some stuff back?
No. When I got immunity from prosecution, I had to talk about everything that was asked of me. If they didn't ask, of course, you're not going to volunteer.
Right.
So, but when it came to anything to do with murders concerning me, that I was personally involved in, of course, I told them,
And that was huge to get that erased, so to speak.
Yeah, well, you could get tried if you lied. You could get tried for the murders.
Did you have any pangs of conscience about those acts, the murders that you were...
this might sound cold to you, or callous, or wherever you want to say it, but at the particular time when I was ordered to do these type of things, it was done for the organization. And if I would have said no, I can't do it, or I'm not going to do it, then I would have been killed. They don't come to you and ask you to do something if they think you're going to say no.
That makes sense. It'd be like sending a soldier to war.
That's
pretty much. I mean,
that's exactly what I tell people. A lot of people don't like that, but when you go to war, you shoot and you kill a lot of people.
That's true.
And it's for your country.
And who's to say who's right, who's wrong? And
that's right.
You're just like you said, going on orders.
That's right.
And that actually, like you said, that turned your life around, because how did you get out of the witness program? How did you out yourself? When was it? Because look at you. You are live in living color and black and white here in Las Vegas, living the life of a free man. And how does that
Well, I couldn't stand it to be in a witness protection program. You only protect yourself. There's nobody actually that protects you. And you live in places like I live so far south. I mean, I could have stepped in the Gulf. It was right there. And listen to my voice. Do I look like I belong in the South?
No, not particularly.
So I finally got out. What I did was I just wrote the U.S. Marshal, the inspector, or call inspectors. I wrote him a letter and I told him I'm out of here. By the time you get this letter, I'll be long gone. They don't come looking for you.
No. Well,
No,
obviously not. You're sitting here in the studio.
Yeah,
But,
and then I finally got my way back here.
and the mob, to all extents and purposes, to all that we know, is no longer in Las Vegas, although I do wink when I say that, because I'm sure that element would never go away. It just, there's no control. A lot of that,
Right.
too. And this past week, E. Perry Thomas died. It was a man I met when I first moved to Vegas, a wonderful man. He was a banker. He's the one who worked with properties to get them legitimized with executives, and a lot of that was the taxes. The mob didn't obviously pay taxes, right? So I think a lot of eliminating their presence here was the government was seeing where to get a lot of the tax dollars, you know. But was it a prosperous life being with the mob, or were
Oh
you
yeah,
comfortable?
of course. You know, you make a lot of money, and there's a lot of guys that were failures. You know, that didn't make a lot of money. That did it for the glory. But it's all about money. Money's power.
True. Yeah, that's
You got money, you got power. You got no money, you're nobody.
Yeah, that's really a
It's
sad
a shame.
fact of life.
Yeah, it's a shame, but
And then it
that's
takes
fact.
money to make money, and there's
All
all
the
these
time.
little codicils to that, which I have to say real quick. I remember the movie we were talking about with Joe Pesci, which was My Cousin Vinny, because I said
Right.
Utes. I want to talk more about your books, and also you have a really fabulous mob tour that you host here in Las Vegas, and
Yeah.
you take people on tours of various areas that certain incidences
Where the cards at?
occurred at. We had them here a minute ago. So here they are. It's the casino tours hosted by Frank Cullotta. And where do you depart from? The Mob Museum?
Wherever wherever the people want to meet me. Sometimes at the hotel, the Royal Suites, or their hotel. And these are private, personal tours with me. I also have a larger tour that usually go out. It'll go out on Wednesday mostly, but it'll go out any other day of the week, providing there's more than 8 people. We'll do it 7
Yeah,
days
because
a week.
of course you don't want to spin your wheels.
Lose a lot of money if you're doing it with 3 people in a bus.
Of course, yeah.
You know,
That's
it's a
just
big
common
expense.
sense, right? And on the tour, you take people to the various spots in the city where the casino movie was filmed.
Where murders were committed, where my restaurant was when I lived out there, to
Where the bodies
pictures.
are buried?
No. Where the pictures, the casino movie, all the locations. We
And-
go to the casino house.
Yeah, and you have some great pictures in this book. This one is Frank Cullotta, Hole in the Wall Gang, in my own words, and with a little help from Denny Griffin. And you have pictures of...
That was my ex-wife.
That was your ex-wife. Oh,
she
she's
was
dark.
very lucky.
Why, that she was an ex or that she was a wife?
She was a good kid.
And there are...
That's the murder. That's the car, Frankie Blue's car. He was killed in
Wow.
that car out here by a Metro.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a scene. I bring them over to that location.
And there's Sharon Stone.
Yes.
It must have been kind of interesting working...
Classy lady.
I believe that. I have a guest who shot her in a photography, not as a mob thing, and he said that she answered the door to her own home with no makeup or anything on, and she was the most gorgeous woman
She's an attractive
he'd
woman.
ever seen. Yeah. So you've been with these stars on the set.
And she's very bright, very educated lady.
That's what I understand. a lot of really cool pictures and a lot of detail and information in this. And this segment just flew by on wings again. I'm kind of stunned.
I was just enjoying myself.
It's
Darn
not
it.
over. We have one more
Oh, okay.
segment. And only 5 minutes of commercials. I keep telling people that. Quick shout out to the Red Roof Inn on Paradise. I could just say this in my sleep, but it's all true. I wouldn't say a bad word about them because there's nothing bad to say. They sponsor the show, and they're on Paradise across from the Hard Rock Hotel. We'll be right back.